And if you could just introduce yourself.
I play keyboards in Alice.
My name is Anna Maria, and I am the founder and vocalist in the band Vajra.
What was the initial start?
Yeah, so we all have pretty storied histories.
I was just bored during COVID. Did a little demo, put it out, and it was pretty well received by the community. And
always had a thing for horror punk and stuff.
Something that started with me and a laptop during quarantine, and just like, oh yeah, you know, all those times I said, if only I didn't have to work my job all the time, and now like I could have time to do that. Well, now this is that.
All right. And if you could introduce yourselves to the fine folks at home, I'd really appreciate that.
How's it going, everybody? We're the Creepy Crawlers. I am Reverend Chad Wells.
I am PJ Wells.
Scarica.
I'm Gory Corey. And I am Danny Grimm.
All right. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you to the show. I really appreciate you guys being on here. I understand. I'm sorry, what was that?
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I understand that you guys have some really cool show announcements coming up, and I wanted to help spread the word about that. So how about you guys tell me a little bit about that? Where are these shows going to be played? Who's going to be on the bill? I'm really excited for the rest of the scene to hear this.
Yeah, February 22nd, we're playing in Cincinnati at Oddfellows Liquor Bar with the legendary Cancer Slug. If you're a horror music fan, you know who Alex Story is, and you know about Cancer Slug. So we're excited about that show. Also on the bill are Batthorn, DOS, and Trash Night. DOS is made up of other members that used to be in the Jackalopes with Danny and I, so it's kind of a little family reunion too. And then in March, another reunion of sorts. Our good friends Electric Frankenstein are headlining the After Hours Night Terrors party at Horror Hound, and asked us to come and open for them. So we're super excited to be playing Horror Hound. We'll be there all weekend. We have a table. We'll be selling merch and signing autographs and kissing babies or whatever people want us to do there. And then in April, we'll be playing our first real hometown show. And I can't remember the name of the venue. It's a new venue, but watch our social media for that one. That's April 19th. Yeah, Joe's Atomic Lounge or something like that. Sadly, I completely blanked on it. Yeah, brand new spot. And we're playing with some bands who recognize Trash Night, who we're playing with Cancer Slug, Nervous Aggression from Columbus, and DOS once again. And yeah, I think that's all that's on the docket officially to talk about now, show-wise.
Well, that's wonderful. So far. Yeah, isn't that the way it is as a band? Yeah, for sure. So with that in mind, I also understand that you guys said that you are going to have a new release coming out. When's that going to happen, and when can everyone expect it to drop?
We're kind of hoping to rush it out in time for Horror Hound. We're on a great Cincinnati YouTube show called The Super Satan Show that is hosted by a literal devil puppet. And we played a set on there, and it was a great set. And our two EPs that we have out currently don't feature this entire lineup. It really only features the three people in the front here. So the Super Satan Show set is a great way for us to show what the real live band sounds like now that we've got Danny and Corey behind us. So that should be out mid-March, at least in time to hit the table at Horror Hound.
For sure. Well, you guys heard it here first. Thank you so much for sharing all that with everyone. And I just wanted to say I'm really excited to hear that myself. I always love hearing like these kind of evolutions in a band from where they started to where they're going. So really excited for you guys. Can't wait to hear that. It's going to be a lot of fun. As we're getting going, are there any bands, as we're winding down, are there any bands or that you've played with or that you're going to play with or just in general in the scene that you want to shout out and give a little special attention to, maybe have your fans go and take a look at?
I mean, Electric Frankenstein, who we're playing with at Horror Hunt. If you're not hip to Electric Frankenstein, those guys are sort of almost an American institution at this point. They've been at it for far longer than we have. And I started playing in punk rock bands around 1989, if that tells you anything. So, but they're amazing. Huge catalog of great music, and all of their album covers are killer. In the wider scene, though, there's so much great stuff going on right now. And it's really an international scene. When I was coming up in what I call the early days of horror punk or whatever, it was very regional, and so we had like Midwestern bands and Southern bands, and it's now there are bands like Real Life from Brazil, or Los Morts, Bad Tripe. So a lot of the bands on the Horror Shock or We Are Horror comps. Those are two labels that are sort of taking a great snapshot of what's going on right now. So Rise from Your Grave is amazing. Boogeyman, Rip Snorter. Like there's just so many. It's hard to
it's hard to pick out a few.
Yeah, it's so hard. And outside of the horror scene, there's a lot of stuff going on that I think is sort of adjacent to us too. There's like a little bit of an emo revival, a little bit of a grunge revival, and a lot of those bands that are doing those things are using like theatrical elements and makeup and some horror in their videos and stuff. So it's kind of an exciting time right now.
Oh, for sure. I could not agree more. There is so much talent that has been bubbling up within the scene recently. And I really do feel that a lot of the talent has been there, but it hasn't been focused. And your label and Dan's label and some of the other people that are kind of working on all of this are helping shine a light on all this wonderful talent. And it's really cool to see. I mentioned this in another video recently, that, like you were saying, it is an international scene. There's people, you can talk to someone in Ohio, you can talk to someone in Texas, like I did in one of my previous videos. You can talk to someone over in Germany, and you can collaborate with these people internationally. This is something that's never happened before. I think the biggest challenge that's been facing people, as I said in the last interview, was learning how to navigate all of this new way of doing things and everything else. But I think that this incredibly talented scene is starting to gain traction because they're starting to navigate that this never before kind of like encountered obstacles in a new way. So I think that's cool that you brought all that up, and that you've talked about all of that. Before we get going though, I want to make sure that when your guys' new release comes out, and as well for the social media just in general for you guys, where do you want people to go to find your music, to find your show dates, to find anything else for you guys?
The typical social media channels are good. We post sort of redundantly to Instagram and Facebook. We have fun on TikTok. We just sort of launched a Patreon where we're going to have sort of deeper things for people to interact with there. For as low as $1 a month. Like we're going to have a movie watch party once a month, and we're making a lot of extra sort of content. We've always done stuff like movie reviews and record reviews just to let people know who we are. And so we're doing more of that in depth over there. So, but all of those links go through Instagram and Facebook and stuff. Listen to us on Spotify. Nobody's making very much money on Spotify, but really all the bands that get plays on Spotify, it just helps us all so much because it's sitting there and it's a metric. So when you go to book a show and you've not been paying bots to play your songs, and so you have less than 1,000 plays on something, it doesn't look as good. So I think we all need to, and there are a lot of people doing playlists right now that are doing really great things in the horror scene. So Spotify, if you see us on a playlist, listen to us, listen to all of those bands. Bandcamp, we've got everything up there. We've got something just about everywhere you can. We've got the Big Cartel if you like Big Cartel. We just kind of try and make it easy for people to get to the stuff. But we're on all of the social medias. Just look up the Creepy Crawlers, and if the toys from the 60s through the 80s show up first, put punk rock at the end of that and you'll find us.
For sure, for sure. Well, thank you so much for being on here, every one of you. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure talking to you. And I wish you guys luck on your shows. I'm sure you guys are going to kill it.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing.
All right. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the episode. I really appreciate it. My name is William Hamilton, and I've been the host of this episode of Heartfelt Horror here on the Heartfelt Horror Media Network channel. We really do appreciate it. And we, I mean, me, myself, and currently another individual who's behind the scenes, really do appreciate you guys staying to the end of these videos. While you're here, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video, subscribing to our channel, leaving a comment down below, these little things really do go a long way to helping us, get our name out there and get our show out into the algorithm so other people like you can find us. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, we'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're looking for other ways to support the show, we have a Patreon. The link for that is going to be down here. You can copy that into the search bar and you'll find our page. Our Patreon is for $5 a month. For $5 a month, you're going to be able to help us buy all sorts of new equipment. You're going to help us be able to save up for different kind of developmental processes that we're going to be using to bring you new and different kinds of content besides these interviews. So if that sounds like something that interests you, please consider it. Again, it'll be $5 and the link to the Patreon is going to be down there below. So thank you so much for your time and have a nice day. Bye.